Are we recording? I can't tell. I don't have my glasses on.
I don't know. How can I tell?
It looks like it says record. Okay.
Yes, it says record 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Do you think it's going?
Welcome back to episode 21 of Untitled Bestie podcast.
Special Halloween edition. 31 days.
Special All Hallows Eve edition.
Oh, God. Lol.
I'm John Henry Holiday, the greatest gunslinger who ever lived. And
I'm just a regular person.
when I pull this trigger, things die.
And then you shoot me on camera.
Yeah, that will be bad. It's not a real gun. It's
Not a real gun.
Not loaded.
Not loaded. Although there will be plenty of loaded questions and hopefully nachos. Just kidding.
If you eat nachos on... Okay, the character's over. The podcast has started. And
you're taking the hat off?
I'm not taking the hat off. I'm fixing my goddamn blonde hair. I am putting my glasses on, though. So... Oh, I didn't even bring the fucking list. This was supposed to be set up ahead of time.
Well, you didn't tell me all these things.
What are those guys that they yell at on movie sets? They're supposed to do stuff.
Grips?
Production assistants.
I'm gonna go with Grips.
There's a whole great movie about it called, Oh, never mind. That was an episode of Supernatural.
You need Supernaturals?
Yeah. So, we are on the 7th day of 31 days of Halloween.
Yes.
And we accidentally watched 13 movies already.
Isn't that an accident?
Sure.
There are some life circumstances that allowed us to watch more movies, and I was excited about it.
Do you want me to just read the list, and then we can sort of talk about the ones we want to talk about?
Sure, I think we should talk about, 8 or 9. Let's stop at 8, because that'll be an excellent stopping.
Yeah, so I just want to list them all, and we'll talk about the good ones.
Yeah. No, we'll briefly mention them all.
Yeah. That's okay, yeah. Midsommer. I know what you did last summer. I still know what you did last summer. I will always know what you did last summer.
I think it's all. Just all.
All.
Attraction.
Okay, yeah, maybe.
I think that's...
I mean, someone didn't write the whole fucking names down on the list. They will remain nameless. But that's why this podcast is fucked up now.
Yes, that's why.
Number
Scott,
5.
master of no shortcuts.
Number 5. The Autopsy of Jane Doe. 13 Ghosts. Antrum. Ghost Ship.
Okay, you don't need to talk extra slow.
I am enunciating. Hellraiser. Stillborn. Hellraiser 2, 3, and 4. Don't watch Hellraiser 4. Or do, it's fine.
It's fine.
So, which ones do you want to talk about?
I think we should just talk about them in order.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely have to talk about Midsommer, right?
Yes.
Because we watched The Wicker Man in preparation for that.
We did, and we told you all about it, how great it is.
Yes.
It's my favorite horror movie.
Basically, if you liked Wicker Man, you're wrong, and you should watch Midsommer.
But you'll probably still like Midsommer.
That's the whole thing.
Right.
Midsommer is what if Wicker Man was good?
Right, exactly that.
It's like a reverse spoof movie.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, we can talk more about the movies we liked than the ones we didn't. But I don't want to spend too long on each movie. So maybe real quick, go.
Well, if there's one negative thing you can say about Midsommer, it's that it's 2.5 hours long.
Too long!
Yeah, it's 2.5 hours long. 2 hours and 37 minutes. So
that's really long for a horror movie, A. And B, kind of sort of this type of movie.
I mean, I'm going to disagree with this type of movie because I think that it uses its time very well, and I never felt bored. I never felt like the movie was taking too long. There was always something happening, and I was always like, what the fuck? In a good way.
I think that the light is too much on top of us.
Okay, do you want me to point it at your face?
Yeah, I think we should just point that, outward just a smidge. Just to see how it looks. I'll let you know.
Is that any better?
That's too much, but it is better, yeah. So, a little more up. Because it's kind of blinding. You can come sit and tell me if that's too blinding for you. It's kind of bright. It definitely is better.
I mean, yeah, this is just the suffering that actors do for their art.
You're right.
It's fine.
Okay. Sorry, back to, you thought it was not too long.
Not really. I mean, it was long, but I mean, some good movies are fucking long. Like, you don't say Return of the King sucks because it's long. So...
Right, but has the proper amount of content and pacing.
So does Midsommer.
It doesn't.
It does.
It doesn't.
Midsommer is... I didn't fucking look into the making of it or anything, but it's very obviously sort of... an homage or tribute, or honestly, like, I understand why they didn't do it, but like, if you literally just called it The Wicker Man.
Yeah, Tony said soft reboot, but I don't really feel like that.
Yeah, like, it was clearly very similar and had some specific homages.
Sure,
right?
yeah.
Like,
I would say homage for sure, but not soft reboot.
No, but it could have been.
Or not even... remake, just none of those things.
But it could have been. If you
tweak some things about it, sure.
I'm just saying, if you just change the name of the movie, if you change the DVD cover and you put it in stores, it has more in common with The Wicker Man than most remakes have in common with the original.
I don't know about that. There's a lot of like kind of scene by scene remakes.
Oh, that's true.
Trash.
I mean, they suck. But there's almost. I mean,
yeah, it's very similar.
Yeah, sure. Midsommer has a few exact scenes that are from The Wicker Man. Like, there's a wall of photos of the previous Midsommer queens. Like a literal wall of photos, and the characters are explaining, this is where we take the pictures of the Midsommer queens. And I'm like, okay.
This is where we make the Italian food.
Yeah.
They're not in Italy.
Right. And I didn't know this while I was watching it, and as soon as I found out, it made exact sense in retrospect. It's the same writer-director as Hereditary.
Which does make sense in retrospect. Stylistically, the movie is... I think that's one of my favorite things about it, is that it is, at the very least, an homage, but also it improves every single aspect. But one of the biggest ones is just cinematography. Like... It's a really gorgeous film.
It's a beautiful film.
Yeah. And despite... I mean, it still has, like slow-paced... A very slow-paced kind of feel that builds, which is the kind that I like. That's kind of hard to pull off, especially in a movie that's 2.5 hours long. It was definitely too long still. But, for such a slow-paced movie... They did a really good job of just, like, capturing the environment and making it look very pretty and enticing. I liked that a lot. I liked the cinematography in it, and I also like the cinematography a lot in Hereditary, so that makes sense.
Yeah. I wonder if they have the same cinematographer.
Maybe. They probably do.
Yeah, and, I mean, it's not the exact same formula as The Wicker Man. One of the ways that it improves on it a lot is instead of one dude going to the cult, it's a group.
A group, yeah.
And
that does improve a lot of things.
And it's not a group of friends. The first, 15 to 20 minutes of the movie is actually just, like, relationship drama in a good way.
Sort of, but it's also like relationship drama amongst like family members and stuff, which is, I'm not gonna spoil it, but that's one of the most it's a really great fucked up Kickstarter intro, and I like it.
Yes, it does not keep, for a 2.5 hour long movie, it doesn't keep you waiting for shit to get real and for you to understand the stakes of what's going on.
Yeah.
But I mean, honestly,
so it starts out really strong,
and a lot of the relationship stuff, I mean, that's the core of the movie, right?
Sure.
Like, they tried to do it a little bit in the Wicker Man remake, where they tried to pretend that Nicolas Cage had some emotional connection to this missing girl.
Right.
The original Wicker Man doesn't have that at all.
No.
He's just like, I have an emotional connection to being
God.
a cop. Yeah, and God, and Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
But Midsommer has this important relationship thread that runs through the entire movie all the way to the end.
Yeah.
And it makes it much more effective and powerful and not dumb and boring like The Wicker Man.
Agreed. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know if we have anything more to say on Midsommer. I mean, we got a lot of movies to cover here. I think that pretty much sums up how awesome it was.
I was gonna say, just it's fucked up. It's pretty fucked up.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's fucked up. Like, if you've seen Hereditary, that's a pretty good clue into how fucked up it's going to be.
Right. And it's it's not like gory per se, but it's pretty gruesome here and there, and I think overall, like, I'm saying it's fucked up because it is, but it's not so fucked up that I would put it on par with, like, unwatchable films for certain people, like the Saw series or whatever, you know.
Sure, but at the same time, it also adds much more emotional weight to the gore that does happen in it, so it's emotionally more traumatic than fucking Saw.
I mean, I don't think it... Yes, agreed. Emotionally, for sure. However, like, the concepts aren't that different than a lot of horror movies. It just does them way better.
Yeah, I mean, basically, if you've seen Hereditary, it is that level of fucked up, but there's a little bit more of it because it's a little bit longer movie.
Yeah. Also, if you've done psychedelics, it'll be super fun to watch. And if you are on psychedelics while you watch it, that's probably even more fun. So.
I mean, I'm pretty sure if you're on...
And terrifying.
I'm pretty sure... I don't think people who are on psychedelics while they watch it will survive. I think they will end up sacrificing themselves to the cult.
Psychedelics. Before we go on to the next movie, can we do a shot?
Yeah.
Also, we are joined by a Popeye and a DJ.
If they're not on camera, are you really joined by them?
Well, they're in the room.
Brought to you by Tavern Keep, the official vodka of Untitled Bestie podcast.
A vodka they should definitely keep in the tavern and never sell.
I mean, look, it has a fucking classy dude on it. Look at that guy; he's got a bow tie and everything.
They do pull off like a strangely unoffensive modern aesthetic with their thing there.
Yeah, like, I assume if they ever change their branding, it'll be one of those logos where it's a circle with an X in it, and it's got, like, a tavern and a keep and a shot glass and a bottle. And it just says TK. Which is the sound that it makes when you cheer shot glasses. So I think we can just talk about the I Know What You Did Last Summer
as a group
franchise, just all together, and briefly mention what sucked about all the movies.
They weren't good.
Yeah.
I had seen the first two long ago when they came out, and they were hardly worth remembering. Scott had never seen any.
Yeah, that's the only reason we watched them. Like, I didn't expect them to be good. Right. I can figure them an important part of the shitty slasher genre culture as a whole, and as someone who has a podcast about this garbage, I feel like I need to watch them.
Yeah.
So, real quick, what makes the first two movies boring? Really, all of them, but as a concept.
Yeah.
The problem is the killer has no character.
Yeah, and the characters barely have characters.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, but, I mean, they don't have that much less character than, say, Laurie Strode in Halloween. They're generic survivor people characters. So
you're supposed to take those and improve on them, right? Like, Scream improved on those. Like, Nev Campbell had a character, and Skeet Ulrich had a character.
Yeah, and I mean, Michael Myers is not a developed character in any way, but as a viewer, there's
there's motivations, and there's, like, assumptions.
Yeah,
that make it interesting.
There's a character in the movie that explains to you what Michael Myers' MO and motivation are, and in I Know What You Did Last Summer, they, like, make it like a mystery. Like they spend the whole movie trying to figure out who it is and why, and that's not really interesting. And the explanation doesn't actually make any fucking sense. So the motive is mirror images. The motive is revenge. And
that
then
makes sense.
The twist,
it's just stupid.
The part of the twist is that he's not even an innocent person that they thought they killed, and now he's getting revenge on them. He's actually a murderer who already killed someone.
Yeah, yes. I guess that's true.
Yes. Yeah. The reason he was on that road...
We don't know why he killed that guy, though.
No, yeah, we do.
Why?
The guy that he killed is the guy that killed his daughter in a drunk driving accident.
Oh, so he was killing a different teenager. Right.
Yeah.
So he's got this teenager thing. Right,
yeah.
Right. You're right.
So that makes sense as a motive to get revenge. But it doesn't explain, like, why he wanted to become a weird, creepy serial killer who, like, moves bodies around really fast to, like, fuck with people's heads.
I mean, obviously that just became, like, a thing he was into. Like,
sure.
You're doing it for revenge, and then you develop, like, your MO.
Sure, but because we don't know anything about him the entire movie, it's just kind of like, oh, I guess it was just a guy who liked to do fucked up shit.
Yeah.
For revenge, I guess.
Boring.
Like,
it's so boring.
And that's the second movie, too.
Yeah. I called the second movie, like, right out the gate.
Yeah, you did. It was, yeah. But it's a dumb... So,
yeah, but it's easy. But the problem with these movies is they came out after Scream, trying to capitalize on, like, the new slasher flick. Like,
right.
I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, or, I Know What You Did Last Summer, Urban Legend. There are more. I can't remember what they are. They're all bad, except for Scream, essentially.
Yeah, Urban Legend is way better than I Know What You Did Last Summer, and it's not good.
I can believe that, and also, I believe the second part of that, too. But they're just bad. Do we want to talk about, like, the third one? Summarize it real quick?
Just briefly, yeah.
It's bad.
I have to call first, though.
Okay. It's bad. It's kind of worse than the first two in the sense that it has no star power, which doesn't really help the first two, but it's, like, what they paid for, right?
Yes.
So it doesn't have that. It doesn't have special effects. It doesn't have anything that's good. Up until the point where there's pure fucking genius gold for 30 seconds of the movie. I thought the killer was going to be something that, I'm pretty good at calling this shit something generic or whatever. But it turned out that... I'm going to spoil it for you because nobody's going to watch this.
Right.
I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. The killer...
Sorry, it's always no.
I'm sorry. It's so fucking hard to keep them straight. It's so hard to keep them straight.
No, still no, always no.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Okay.
Like, I still know. Don't those mean the same thing?
No.
It does up until there is no more always.
Well, but yeah. So still means from then until now. I'll always know means from now until infinity.
I think I'll always know. Ooh, does always mean always from the beginning of time?
No. I don't think that's how that works.
I think it is. But I don't think it is because they use will, which is in the apostrophe.
I will
Except
always know.
It's not I will.
I know,
will.
but you're the one who's getting confused about what
I'm
will
not
know.
confused about any of it. I'm just saying the wrong things.
Yeah, I will always means from now until forever.
From when you willed it?
Sure. Which is what the movie's about.
True.
Spoilers for Urban Legend. The franchises are identical because they have the same third movie also.
Spoilers for me, because I haven't seen those yet. So thanks, Scott.
I already told you this.
You said that some shit was the same.
Yeah, and some shit is the same, and I'll always know. I'm waiting for you to finish your...
Really? You keep interrupting me a lot. Like, a lot. You were like, that's wrong. And then you were like, spoilers for a different movie in the middle of while you're talking.
Well, so are you going to finish?
Yeah. The fucking killer is not a real person at all. It's not a descendant. It's not a copycat of the original or any of that shit. It's a fucking guy who, because people believed in him, became an actual urban legend. So he's like a supernatural, crazy-faced dude, and it's dope. It's fucking awesome. Like, that part of the movie I genuinely enjoyed. I hated every moment up to that point. I really couldn't even tell you what happened up to that point because it was just, like, boring and nothing cool happened, and they had zero budget because they put it all into making this guy look like a supernatural fucking crazy guy. And that was awesome. And then 30 seconds later, it was bad again.
Yeah, no, the movie was cool for about 14 seconds, and then it went back to sucking.
But it was really cool. I really didn't expect that, and even it was like kind of cheesy, but kind of not. Like, if you like Jeepers Creepers as a concept, you'd probably enjoy that 30 seconds as much as I did.
I have to turn the gain down. You're shouting into the microphone.
I'm just talking loudly.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not shouting.
It's too loud.
I'm not shouting any more than you ever shout.
Yeah, but I'm watching the bars on the screen, so I can tell what's happening. Okay, try now.
Try to what?
Continue shouting.
Okay, now I'm shouting again, even though it's not really shouting at all. I can shout. It would sound more like this!
Yeah. You see how the whole bar turns red when you do that?
Yeah.
Don't do that.
I hate you. You're the worst.
Yeah, so... Yeah,
Good commentary.
it's the same shit as Urban Legend, but worse.
We've never talked about urban legends, so nobody knows what that means.
Yeah, I know, and we're gonna get to Urban Legends.
But we don't really need to talk about it.
Not on this podcast. Yeah. So that's
It's boring,
that's I know that's the last summer franchise. We'll just call it that. And it's bad. Don't watch it. Don't waste your time. It's not even funny bad. It's just boring.
It's nothing good going on.
We watched the Autopsy of Jane Doe. I don't really want to talk about it.
Why? Because you don't remember it?
Yeah, because I don't remember what the fuck happened in it. It was kind of boring.
He says that. I don't think that's true. I think he was distracted. I've seen that movie. Let me back up. I watched this movie once while Scott was doing something else and not really paying attention, but it was on around him. And he was like, "What are you watching? This seems cool." And I was like, "Yeah, it seems cool." And then he left. I finished the movie, and I watched it at least one time, sort of, since then. I like it. I think it's interesting. It has Brian Cox and Emile Hirsch, and I like both those actors a lot. And it's not like a great horror movie by any means, but it has some concepts that are pretty cool, and it's like, it looks pretty, it's filmed well, it's acted well. Like, I don't have any issues with it. I think it's worth a watch.
I mean, I agree with all that. Except the problem is it's just like a bunch of interesting scenes, and it feels like it never goes anywhere. And then it does
go somewhere.
The place that it goes is worse than the sum of its parts.
That may be kind of true, but I don't think that necessarily makes it bad.
Yeah, it's just mediocre.
It doesn't make the ending not good. Like, I liked it. I thought it had some interesting ideas.
I mean, yeah, I'll go on record saying I liked it too, just not a lot. Kind of liked it.
I think as far as like one-offs that are kind of like quirky and weird with new ideas ish, it's pretty good. I would give it a watch if you're bored and you're looking for something like that.
Sure. I mean, if you liked The Last Shift or The Void, I mean, it's one of those movies. It's one of those trapped in a location movies.
Yeah,
and spooky shit starts
it's
happening.
definitely that.
So
or like Haunt. We were just talking about Haunt earlier.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, if that's your genre, if people are alone at night in a location and spooky stuff starts happening, and you like those movies, definitely check this out.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's worth watching.
If you don't like those movies, also, definitely don't watch it.
If you like those actors,
yeah. I mean, I love Brian Cox. I'm not entirely sure who Emile Hirsch is, but
he was in Alpha Dog. He's in The Girl Next Door. He's in Into the Wild.
Well, I've seen one of those movies.
This movie. You've actually seen two of those movies, so.
I have not seen Into the Wild or Girl Next Door. I've never seen Into the Wild. I refuse to watch it with you.
No, you have
on principle. I did not. You tried to you watched it maybe when I was in the same house as you.
On principle, what is the principle?
I don't like that guy in real life. I think he's stupid. I think it's dumb they made a movie about him.
Wait, they don't exactly make him look super duper awesome in the whole movie.
Sure.
So, I think the guy was fine. He did a lot of good stuff.
You talk about 13 Ghosts.
Yeah, we're talking about all of them.
I know.
We're gonna talk up to Ghost Chip.
Ghost Chip, okay. Yeah, that makes sense, because then we can do Hellraiser.
Right,
yeah.
That's what I said.
Okay, so you go, because you love 13 Ghosts.
I like 13 Ghosts. It's real cheesy and bad, but it's entertaining and interesting. The end. Aesthetically fun.
Yeah, I had seen 13 Ghosts maybe 2 or 3 times, but like over the last 10 years, not like frequently or anything. And previously I didn't have a very high opinion of it. I thought that it was kind of fun, but there's a lot of aspects of it that I remembered not liking.
Right.
And when I watched it this time, I just fucking love that movie now. I think it's genius. I think it's perfectly executed. I think that
it's fun.
It's got a great cast. I think the effects are great. Except the CGI machine has aged a little poor. I mean, it always was not
gears.
Great. Yeah. But, you know, A for effort, like, whatever. You wanted to make a hell machine, and you were like, we can't build this. We already built an entire mechanical house to film this fucking movie in.
Right.
We have to CGI this last part.
Yeah. I just think it's a lot of, if you like corny horror movies, cheesy stuff, especially like from the 80s, like, it's good. It's like that style.
Yeah.
Did you hear the fucking doorbell?
No.
Weird.
Yeah, you're a dog now. You hear random doorbells and then yell at them. Yeah, no, it's fantastic. It even makes me like Matthew Lillard a little bit.
Matthew Lillard's awesome. Lillard.
What's he good in besides SLC Punk?
Scream.
Oh, duh. What an idiot. I'm so dumb. Sorry, Matthew Lillard. You're great, apparently.
Yeah, I like him a lot. And then he was also Shaggy in the Scooby-Doo movies, but I never watched any of those.
I watched one a long time ago because it was like I was at Thanksgiving and it was on for like the kids.
I'm sure it wasn't very good.
No, because it does the same fucking shit that Urban Legend 3 and I Will Always Know What You Did Last Summer did. You know, the whole point of Scooby-Doo is that there aren't supernatural things happening. It's some guy in a mask scamming people.
Sure.
Scooby-Doo movie, actual demons. What the fuck? Did you ever get the point of Scooby-Doo?
Yeah, but what's funny about that is I Know What You Did Last Summer has Freddie Prinze Jr. in it, and Scream and 13 Ghosts has Matthew Lillard, and both of those people star in the Scooby-Doo movies. So It's just like the 90s, early 2000s gang getting together.
I mean, that was the whole point of those Scooby-Doo movies, right? It was like...
Yeah, I don't remember if Sarah Michelle Gellar was in those.
I have no idea.
Anyway.
Yeah.
13 Ghosts is fun.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Would recommend.
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably most of you have seen it. Or none of you. If so, you're lame.
If you haven't, you're in for a treat.
Yes.
Antrum.
Antrum was a one-off that we had never heard about, just kind of stumbled on. It was actually Tony's suggestion.
Antrum is so close to being great
that
I'm more mad at it.
I agree with that.
Than I would be if it just sucked.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that, but that doesn't make what's good about it any less good.
No.
Do you want to explain it at all?
Yeah, just a little bit. Like I don't want to talk too much about what happens.
Antrum is like a documentary about a film that existed in the 70s
called Antrum
that people watched and it killed them. So it was like The Ring, but like really happened.
Yeah, I mean it didn't, right?
Right, it didn't really
so but
obviously.
When you know, if you read the description of the movie, it says this movie was unearthed and it was showed in theaters if you just said
Unreal.
It down, I would do it. But like both my hands are full, so I can't take it from you. And it says, you know, like...
You actually can. I could tell you how to problem solve how you could take
This film was discovered and you can watch it now for the first time. Deadliest film ever made because it's killed like 83 people or something. And it starts with documentary-style footage of people talking about the history.
Which is really well done.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, that was one of the things that was disappointing about it is I feel like there was basically no payoff to that. And then they show you uninterrupted the entire found film Antrum.
Right.
And it's pretty good.
It's not like terrifying or super gory or like super fucked up. It has its moments, but mostly it's like trippy. It's like if you were having a bad trip on LSD, it would be a lot like watching Natural Born Killers.
It's the best Blair Witch sequel.
Kinda, yeah.
So I'm kind of mad that the documentary aspect
wasn't explored more.
Yeah, it felt like it had almost no payoff. And if they had just shown me a fake 70s movie and been like, this movie is from 1973, came out in 2018 or whatever, I would have been like, cool, I dig it. I dig the aesthetic. You made a very authentic weird 70s horror movie.
Sure.
Cool.
Sure.
And they wrapped it in this hype machine that it's the deadliest movie ever made and it's going to make you go insane from watching it. And I was like, what? That completely clashes with the movie that I'm watching.
Kinda. It was... So the movie was like... I think the reason he's saying that possibly is because the movie that's presented to you and how the documentary explains it is like there's these two kids who are digging a hole to hell for a reason. Okay? And so it just shows that whole process. And that in and of itself isn't like formulated to kill people, right? Like,
yeah.
so it's just kind of strange.
Yeah, I don't really want to get into spoilers for this movie, actually, because it is fun to experience for the first time.
That's fair.
So I guess, the thing is, like, if you like the original Blair Witch, if you like weird 70s,
you like
slow-paced
killers,
horror movies, and if check it out. It's not that long, and
I think
it's fun.
I think it was definitely worth watching.
Yeah.
I was pleasantly surprised at how good it was. Like, some disappointment and getting kind of excited midway through thinking it was going to be better. I was still surprised at how good it actually was, especially because I'd never heard anything about it ever.
Yeah. I mean, my only criticism of the movie is wasted potential, which is not a big criticism. It's the movie's fine. It's good. Watch it.
Yeah. So we won't spoil too much about that.
How long have we been recording? Does this say anywhere?
30 minutes.
Nice. So we're actually doing good on time. Ghost Ship.
Yeah, last one. A classic. Ghost Ship. Where I think Ghost Ship was, like 2001 maybe?
I'll look it up.
A clear... So horror has gone through lots of shifts, right?
Right.
So there was like... I think Ghost Ships came out maybe the same year as The Ring.
I'm looking it up.
If I remember that correctly. We looked it up before. Like, horror went through some stuff, like, and then, like, it went through all the slasher flicks, and then it went through, like, Hellraiser and stuff, like, weird shit, Chucky, and then in the mid to late 90s, it was all about, like, reinventing the slasher film. So it was, like, Scream, all the shit we just talked about already.
2002.
2002, okay.
Yeah. So The Ring was 2001, right?
Right, so The Ring was, like, went off in one sect that became huge, and then, like, a bunch of movies went off in the Ghost Ship direction, and a bunch of them were, like, shitty and lame, but Ghost Ship was awesome. I love Ghost Ship still, and I think most people who have seen Ghost Ship and are horror fans also like it. I've never met anyone who liked horror movies that didn't like Ghost Ship.
Right. So the thing about Ghost Ship is that it's a remake of Event Horizon. It's just not sci-fi, and that actually makes sense.
It appeals to a different audience, a larger audience.
Because when we were watching, we're not going to talk about it, but when we were watching Hellraiser Bloodline, we were talking about the phase that horror went through, where everything had to be in space. Yeah. You had Leprechaun in space, you had Jason X, you had
Event Horizon.
Yeah, and so. It's the same premise. You have a ragtag band of crew members. They take a small ship to a derelict giant ship, and it's haunted, and it taunts them with their own fears until the evil entity eventually wins.
Right.
But
it's gory and gruesome and fun.
Yeah. Carl Urban eats maggots. I mean, spoilers for Ghost Ship. Turns out 40-year-old food is not safe to eat.
If you don't know Ghost Ship and you've never seen it, watch the first 10 minutes, and if you like that, you'll like the movie. If you don't like that, then just turn it off.
Yeah, exactly. And it's
an iconic opening scene of a movie.
And it is so cheesy. Like,
yeah. And most people know it. Like, it's pretty famous in the horror world, so if you don't, like, you need to catch up.
And it's got a pretty good cast. Gabriel Byrne's in it.
Carl Urban.
And
the guy who plays Quinn in Dexter.
Yeah.
I don't know the actor's name, but I like that guy.
Yeah, he's good. I mean,
he's good in that movie.
Yeah.
And it's got a great ending. It's got a very, like, gotcha ending, which is fun.
Yeah, the Event Horizon sinks into a black hole on Neptune. Anyway,
Ghost Ship's good. Give it a watch.
It's fun. It's not as good as 13 Ghosts.
Oh, it's definitely as good as 13 Ghosts. It's maybe not quite as fun. I think it's every bit as fun. It's absolutely as good.
13 Ghosts is a lot goofier.
Yes.
Ghost Ship pretends to be a little bit more serious.
Yeah, but it's also... so one of my favorite parts about Ghost Ship is, like, Mudvayne's Falling is, like, the theme song, kind of. It plays, like, at least once in the beginning of the movie, and then at the end of the movie. Sorry for the spoilers. But also, it's got some fun vibes that are very, if you liked BioShock.
Also...
it's got, like, retro 50s, like, dance vibe. I don't know, it's cool.
Yeah, also, if you like Final Destination, right? Yeah. It's very... A lot of scenes in Ghost Ship are very Final Destination-y, where you can totally see what's coming a mile away, but it keeps, like... Yeah.
Sure. Sure, except except like Ghost Ship's directly playing on fears, and Final Destination is a combination of like your fear plus whatever situational thing is around.
Sure, I just meant like from a storytelling perspective, like as a viewer, you're like, this is the scene where this character's going to die. I'm not quite sure how, but it's coming.
Sure. It's fun.
Yeah.
We didn't really have like any sort of real plan for the movies the movies we were gonna watch. So it's been semi-planned and mostly random, but it's been pretty fun so far.
Yeah, well,
I think we're gonna meet our quota this year.
That's what we said we were gonna do, is semi-plan it. And what we did plan was the Last Summer franchise and the Hellraiser franchise and Midsommer, and we watched all those. Yep. Well, we're only 4 movies into the Hellraiser franchise, so we've got 6 left, but that's okay.
Yeah. We're having lots of fun so far.
Yeah.
Hopefully you guys are watching some horror movies. And I don't have anything else to say about it.
Yeah,
we've watched a total of 13 movies.
Yeah.
So, wow. That's crazy.
You know what we should have done?
What?
Is we should have opened this episode with saying we've watched 12 movies, and then we should have just listed the ghosts from 13 Ghosts, and then been like, wait, wrong list, and got a different piece of paper.
I mean, we could do that now, and then just edit it in.
No,
and then also leave this in.
Yeah.
Which would be really funny.
That would actually be fun.
Yeah, we should just do that.
So we're definitely not going to do it.
Lame. The Juggernaut, the Jackal, the Withered Lover.
The Withered Lover. Well, yeah, the Withered Lover is the 13th ghost.
No, she's the 4th ghost.
Yeah.
I was just trying to think of them all.
The Feeble Mom and the Giant Baby. That's not what they're called, but that's
right. I was trying to think of their actual names.
The Hammer.
The Hammer. I don't know. I can think of there's the Firstborn Son.
Yeah, Firstborn Son. And one of them is just called the Torso, which cracks me up every time they say it. Because why do some ghosts get to have cool names like the Jackal? He's not a literal jackal. He's not like a fucking beast dog.
No, yeah,
he's just this...
The Dejected Prince? That's not what he's called. Something Prince?
The Torn Prince.
Torn?
Yep.
The Cut Up Stripper?
Shit,
Something
what is her
Lover?
name?
No.
The
Princess Bride?
Yeah, Fallen Princess or something. Sad Girl. It's the What About Britney person. I didn't even get the meme right. It's so fucking canceled.
Hey, what was his name?
Leave Britney alone.
Yeah, Chris something.
Yeah. He's one of the ghosts.
The internet was so long ago, I can't even remember all the good stuff.
They were mean. They were so mean to him for so long too. Like, seriously, there were less memes.
Okay, but he
then.
became really famous.
Sure. I mean, there were just less memes back then, so they ran that shit into the ground for years.
That's true. Yeah. I got nothing.
Yeah, are we still listing ghosts, or are we listing them?
All right, we didn't list them all, but I don't.
One of them's Tony Shalhoub.
Who?
Tony Shalhoub.
One of the ghosts?
Yeah.
The 13th ghost.
Yeah, duh. Spoilers for the movie. I'm just gonna...
Well, okay, so once they start watching the fucking movie, and you said one of them's Tony Shalhoub, and they say, oh, that's Monk, like, they're gonna know.
Yeah, I'm gonna bleep that out.
Oh,
I'm gonna say one of them's bleep.
And then we'll just bleep a bunch of this back and forth.
That'll be great. And they won't know what we're fucking saying. Okay, They'll assume it's racial slurs or something.
Sounds good.
I'm gonna leave that part in so it's funnier. I'm going to bleep that part out, though, because the explanation makes it less funny.
Okay, sounds good.
So, in terms of what we have lined up for the future, just to recap...
this will be good for me, because I forgot, too.
Right. So, we're not going to watch the entire Hellraiser franchise, because, believe it or not, we are not that masochistic.
I think we should.
Okay, I mean, I'm fine with it. I mean, I've watched all of them before, and the ones that I want to rewatch are the 2 new ones. Hellraiser Revelation, God, just don't name movies that, and Hellraiser Judgment. Mothman Prophecies will be a change of pace.
Yeah.
Mimic. I have Rest Stop franchise on here.
Right.
I know there's a couple of those. We really want to watch the new Invisible Man movie.
Is that on there?
Yeah, I put them on. I put 2019, 2020 because I don't know when the fuck it came out.
Yeah, Urban Legend franchise.
My favorite is this last one. I'm going to hold it to the camera in case you can see it. I don't know if you'll be able to read that. No. Oh, yeah, the bottom one. Yeah, it says 5 Pandil rum.
Pandora.
Yeah, it's Pandorum. I apparently wrote that when I was drunk and thought it was funny to leave it there for my sober self to decipher.
Sounds exactly like you.
Yeah. There's a couple other things on here like Pumpkinhead franchise, but I honestly...
Ichi the Killer?
I really want to watch Ichi the Killer. I don't think it's technically a horror movie.
It sounds like a horror movie.
Yeah, but I think it's like...
Because I called Tokyo Gore Police horror and you said it wasn't.
Right, Ichi the Killer is less horror than that, I think. I mean, if you read the description of it, it literally says like crime drama.
Okay, but
thriller.
It does. Nothing. Continue.
No, that's it. So I mean, we can watch it, but I'm saying it's.
I mean, we can save it for the last.
Sure.
Like running low for whatever reason.
And that's how we fail. We watch movie 31 and it's not horror, and we're just like, shit, we failed.
Yeah. That's it. That's all I got.
We're done. This is just. That's it. Bye.
Bye. And we just sit awkwardly like this for...
Oh, yeah, I'm just going to record until I run out of hard drive space. It'll be like 6 more hours.
Well, okay. But are we just going to stare at ourselves the whole time?
I mean, I can't even see in this hat. Like, at this angle.
So you're going to stare at the back of your hat the whole time?
Yeah, I can see, like, I have like half a field of vision.
Okay, sounds good.
I'm trying to find the stop recording button. Like I said, I can't see, so...